opportunity to be a part of tonight's event. So those of you that are new to the call, my name is Loren Lahav, and this is my 13th year with the Juice Plus company. And I tell you what's amazing. I don't know about you guys, but it was pretty cool. You know, the Cortese call tonight is with Paolo Teixeira. And how many of you got your bonus checks in the mail? Who got their bonus check? Anybody got a bonus check in the mail? Those of you that are SSCs and above, you know, it's pretty amazing, you know, that I had so many people. I put a post up about this very nice little bonus check that I got in the mail, and all these people were texting me and saying, man, I wish my company offered bonus checks like that. So what a gift we have to be with such an extraordinary company. If anybody who's new to the call, the Juice Plus company, Jay Martin founded the company, and we just celebrated our 50th year. They're the company that created the in-home smoke detectors over 50 years ago. And now, you know, you don't have a house without an in-home smoke detector. And then they created the first carbon water filter and the first carbon air filter. And it was funny because I heard Cheryl talking about, I guess they have these air filters that she still uses. The company still has them around. And then that's when they got into the fruits, vegetables, and berries and omegas in a capsule. So we'll share a little bit more about this. But first of all, just wanted to start with how grateful I am that we have such a beautiful community of people that truly have got each other's back. You know, I think that in times like this, what people are truly hungry for is, yes, ways to say yes to more, but also just the isolation that's happening for people and the lack of community that's there for people. And so I'm very grateful for you, even though we all live around the world. It still feels like we're just, I could pop out, kind of like, I remember my dad was an optometrist, and he used to have to, the little pop out to see the wings popping out. I feel like I can still pop out and just kind of virtually touch you in some cool way. So anyway, tonight's event, we have some very special guests on, and we have Hilary and Allison, and they're going to talk this evening about really leading yourself to leadership. And if you think about it, that there are different stages of leadership. And the very first, you know, I've taught a program called Life Mastery for Tony Robbins for over 18 years. We talk about that there's 4 levels of leadership. And the first level of leadership is you've got to lead yourself, right? If you're not, you can't expect anybody to, you know, to listen to you unless you're leading yourself. And a friend of mine, his name is Michael Hutchinson, and he would always say, you shouldn't go clean up the community until you clean up your own backyard. So that means, you know, doing the do, right? Are you walking the talk? Are you doing the do? Are you doing those things that, you know, to remind yourself that you know, these two ladies especially inspire me all the time, especially with regards to working out. You know, I watch them, and I'm like, okay, you know, that's a big thing, you know, with regards to making sure that you're taking care of yourself versus, once again, teaching it to everybody else. It's a lot easier to say, I'm all good. You're the one that's all, you know, that needs to help. That's why, you know, you don't want to, like I said, you don't want to be teaching the lesson you need to learn most. And the second level of leadership is where people look and they go, wow, she's really walking her talk, or he's really walking his talk. And is that interaction between someone, maybe a one-on-one conversation, you know, what are you doing, or what kind of questions do you ask somebody to really build rapport with them? And then the third level of leadership is that about inspiring groups, right? Where you start to create a community, where you start to create a movement, if you would. And then you end up maybe you transform countries, maybe you transform companies, maybe you transform, you know, just on a bigger scale. And these two women, because they truly do lead by example. They have amazing customers. They have amazing, you know, they've created a beautiful culture. And they both have advanced to qualifying national marketing director. And they'll explain a little what that means is they're really, once again, building community. They're helping others to rise. It's not just about them. When we have our when we're partners or partner plus or even qualifying sales coordinator and sales coordinator, it really is just about you really kind of building that muscle about your confidence in who you are. But once you get to in that position of senior sales coordinator, you know, and above, that's when you've got, I got a real responsibility with regards to helping others step into their leadership. So I think we'll just start. Who should I start with? We'll start with the first letter of the alphabet.
I wonder if I
I'm sorry, I can't remember if A is before H. So let's start with with Allison and talk a little bit about what this means to you. What have you realized about yourself in order for you to truly lead yourself and build this beautiful movement that so I'm
9:46 this
gonna
morning.
pass it on over to you.
And Lauren, if you don't mind, I think Hilary and I were going to tag team this a little bit.
Absolutely.
I cancel it or shall I go?
Let me just both of you. There you go.
Yeah. If you're okay with that, that's how we're going to.
Do you need me to make you a host? Do you have anything to share, like a slide or anything, or no?
Nope. No slide. Just gonna
We
talk.
we're gonna go over like the top 10 tips to like lead yourself. And then we're gonna throw in a bonus one at the end. And we're gonna just go back and forth. We kind of talked about like what we think is important, and we'll expand on some things and be short and sweet on some other things.
It's all yours.
All right. So just to start off, one of my favorite quotes ever is from Loren. It's, if you want it bad enough, you will find a way. And if not, you will find an excuse. A-E-A-E, all excuses are equal. And so I think very early on, you just have to decide if you want this bad enough and to come up with your why. So even before that, one of the number one things that what Loren was talking about was, you have to lead yourself and, walk the walk. So one of the things to be successful in this business and to be a leader is to be a product.
We're taking it soon.
What?
I think somebody just mute themselves. I'm going to mute all participants. Okay.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Is to be a product of the product. So that means you take your capsules every single morning when you wake up, or chewables if that's what you're doing. You take the omegas. If you can afford a tower garden, you have a tower garden. We do shakes all the time. And then we post about it. We get our families involved. So it's really, truly being a product of the product. It's very hard to be successful in this business if you're not eating all the products and sharing them, because the more that you're doing it, the more you're going to fall in love with it. And it's going to be so much easier to tell your story and to say why you love these products. So that way you're not going to feel like you're selling, you're just going to be sharing, which is what we talk about all the time. And then go ahead, Allison.
I'll just add into that as well. And that goes along with our programs as well. So we have a Shred 10 program that's just, in order to be able to promote the Shred 10 or talk about the Shred 10, again, it's being a product of the product. It's doing it yourself, feeling it, seeing what it's like, going through the process, and then being able to talk about it and inspire others to do the same. So.
Great. And then the next one is, which we all talk about, is like knowing your why and getting your story down. There's a great book that I think most of us have read. It's by Simon Sinek, Find Your Why. And so it's a great book if you're looking for some personal growth, which we're going to get into later. But the main thing is knowing your why and then getting your story down. So the more that you tell your story, the more concise it's going to be, the easier it is going to be to share. If you don't have a story, it's one of the first things that you need to do. You have to have a product story and a business story separately. We usually tell our team 2 minutes or less, and to practice. We want them to like videotape themselves, talk in the mirror. The more you practice, the more confident you're going to get. It's really scary when you start off doing it. The first time you're asked to share on a team call, you don't want to say yes, but you should say yes. And the more practice that you have, it's just going to become more natural. Allison, you want to jump in on there?
Yeah, no, you've got it all there.
Okay. Third tip is to stay close to the fire. And when we say stay close to the fire, what does that mean? It means stay connected. So there's lots of ways to stay connected, connecting to your team, to your customers. I'm going to let Allison talk about customers a little bit, but staying connected. So get on your team calls. There's lots of different calls that is happening every single month. Every single week. It can be really overwhelming. But, at least get on 1 to 2 calls a week. I will never miss my own personal team call. And then I try to get on a couple other ones. If you can't get on them live, they're all recorded. You can watch them or listen to them in your car, on the way to work, on your way home, when you're going for a walk, when you're exercising. As I said, all excuses are equal. So get on a call, listen to calls. That's one way to stay connected. There's lots of other ways as far as 3-way calls, one-on-ones. Allison, you want to jump in?
Yeah, I think, getting on calls is so important because it also makes you feel part of the community when you're getting on calls. And so when you're getting on calls and seeing the same people all the time and seeing your team, you're not in this business by yourself. And so you've got a team of people around you. They're going through the same things. You're hearing stories that they're going through, and you become a story collector during those times. And you also start to build your belief, right? You build your belief in the product. We talk about this all the time. Build your belief in the product, build your belief in the business, building your belief in the marketing plan. So you're going to get all of that the more calls you hop on, and you're going to just build your confidence on these calls, every single week, and just, kind of have that building and keep going. So
the other thing, as far as like staying connected, right now we're not having live conferences, but conference is like one of the biggest things that we want our team to go to. You're getting like 6 months of training in like 2 days. There's nothing that beats that. So, right now they're virtual, but hopefully, again, in the next 6 months to a year, they'll be live. But there's also boot camps. Boot camps are amazing. It's like a conference, but smaller. It's more intimate. Loren has an amazing one in Vegas every year. These are ways and besides just staying connected, it's the only time we get to actually see some of our closest friends that are on our team from all over the world that we only get to see on Zoom most of the time. So going to conference, it's like being reunited with your best friends and your family. So can't stress how important and how much we love them. So, all right. So tip number 4 is be consistent. We always say you want to touch your business every day, and that will look different to everybody. So depending on whether you're doing this full time or whether have a full-time job and you're doing it on the side, but touch your business every day, whether that's logging into your virtual office, following up with some customers, sending a quick text out, or even doing a lot more than that as far as like trying to build your business and reaching out. And under this whole be consistent, there's something called DMO, your daily method of operation. And what are you doing with your DMO? So I'm going to let Allison, because she has a really strong DMO, talk a little bit about her DMO and what that includes.
Absolutely. So since we're kind of on the subject of just being consistent and touching your business every single day, my business DMO for me, and I do this mostly full time. So, not everybody may be able to do everything that I do every day, but I do love to touch my business every single day. One of the major things that I do is I log into my virtual office every day because we have alerts on our virtual office, and they let us know what customers are coming up to ship, what customers may have canceled, all that stuff. So you always have a reason to log in and reach out to customers. And what I think customer care is one of our biggest things that we can be doing in our business. Loving on our customers, especially during those first 4 months of their shipments, is so important, because that's where you're going to build their belief, right? We're building our belief every single day, but we also want to build their belief in the product as well. And we want to make sure they're having a really great experience. So one thing that our team does is we do, when a new shipment goes out for a new customer, we send out 10-day, 30-day, 60-day, and 90-day follow-ups. So, and during that time, we're educating, right? So we're not just selling them a product and saying, all right, have fun, go take your capsules, and, I'll let you know when your next shipment's going to go out. No, we're actually coaching them and loving on them during that time. So we're sending out, videos on research. We're sending them out maybe some images on, what Juice Plus is doing in your body, or, if they're only on the fruit and vegetable, at some point, we talk to them about the other products that are available, and we send them a video about, our whole product line or how the product's made, all these different things. So, we really love on them during that time. And then after that, it's just continuing to check in on them and seeing how they're doing. Like, I always find an excuse to reach out to a customer. Like right now, happy holidays, happy new year. We got great new cookbooks out last week, so I'm sending cookbooks off to all of my customers. So just really staying in tune with your current customers, but then also, reaching out to new customers, checking in, say, hey, I have no idea if this is for you. Would you be open to taking a look, whether it's the products or the shred or whatever that is? And, I use Teamsy personally to keep track of my customers, but some people use a 30-day grid. grid. Some people use a spreadsheet. So some people use a planner. So whatever works for you, whatever system works for you to keep track of your conversations. Because I know for me, if I don't keep track of who I'm talking to, they're going to fall through the cracks and I'm probably never going to follow up with them. So following up with our customers, because you never know who is going to become team at some point, and then, you can build them up as leaders as well. So, touching on your business, like Hilary said, and if if you're new to the business and you don't have a lot of customers, it's maybe listening to a call or watching a video or doing something like that. But the most important thing I want to stress, when you're doing this, is just asking questions and asking your upline, because if you're not asking the questions, then your upline doesn't really know, do you know how to post? Do you know how to reach out? Do you know how to do the customer care? All of that stuff. So, I find, the people on my team that really build themselves up as leaders ask a lot of questions. So, making that part of your DMO as well when you're new, I think is really, really important. Do you want to add anything to that, Hill?
Nope, that was perfect. Actually, one more thing. There's one thing that we both do where we're going to get to is during our DMO is also personal development, which is huge, but we're going to come back to that. So our next tip is act as if. So you act as if you're a leader already, even if that means that you have one customer or one teammate. You are a leader, and what Loren was saying is, like, we have to lead ourselves first. So when someone asks you to participate on a team call, say yes. So the more uncomfortable something makes you or feel, you should be saying yes to those things. I absolutely hate speaking in public. And early on, Linda used to ask me to talk on these calls, and there wasn't even a US call for this area when I started. And Linda was like, well, start one. And she hooked me up with a side buddy and made me do it. We had nobody on the call. It was practice for like 3 months. And just say yes, even when you're uncomfortable. If you don't have a team call, start a team call, or otherwise join your upline's team call. But the more that you can act like a leader, people are going to follow you. They're watching you, whether it's people who are eventually going to join your team or people who are already on your team, even if it's just a few people. Just say yes as much as you can.
Fake it till you make it, right?
Yep.
Just keep moving. Just keep moving. So,
all right. Tip number 7 is get into action and be teachable. So getting into action, that could be lots of things, everything that we already discussed, but also don't try to reinvent the wheel, and don't feel like you have to learn everything before you actually do something. So everyone's personality is different. Some people want to learn every research article and learn every product and all the benefits. Instead, this is earn as you learn business. And even when you are uncomfortable, and even when you don't know everything or all the answers, just get into action. That's the best way to learn. And, this business is duplicatable. It's set up that way. So we have the systems in place for you. It's just a matter of trusting the people who've gone before you. And that's how you're going to succeed. So get into action and then be teachable is that next tip.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's also, again, where the asking questions comes in, and so I know for us, when we bring on a new partner, a new teammate, we have a welcome call. We get, we find out what their goals are. We talk about the business, and then, we can kind of work backwards and help them to, reach their goals, whether it's an income goal or a promotional goal or whatever that is. But being teachable and letting your upline guide you to, how to post, the right way to post, or, showing you the way of that the business is duplicatable and that you don't have to reinvent the wheel. We've got verbiage, we've got all of this stuff. So just trusting in your upline and trusting. I know for me, when I came into this, I trusted all of the people that came before me and that were being successful in this business. So I watched what they were doing, and then I followed and wanted to do the exact same thing because I knew that that's what worked. And then, again, that's where that comes in, that everybody's in the business for themselves. They come into this business for different reasons. They have different goals, but no one is in the business by themselves. And I know for me, I could never have done this business without talking to my upline, getting on calls, being teachable, all of that stuff. So, stressing that to our teammates, I think is really, really important.
So just to kind of expand on that, our next tip is actually three-way calls, which includes your upline. We are really believe heavily in three-way calls. Early on when I joined, I didn't believe in it, and my business didn't grow as much as once I actually started listening that this is the way to grow and this is what works. So as many people that you can put in front of your upline, and doing a three-way call is going to make a huge difference in your business. It's a way for you to learn as well. So when all you do is like bring someone to your upline or a side buddy or someone, and it's a three-way call, you listen and learn, and they do all the work and the talking for you. And because their belief is so much stronger, and they already have that strong belief in their business, in the product, in the type of business and network marketing, they're going to be able to show that confidence that you may not have yet, which is going to help you grow your business.
Yeah. And I would just add to that, the more three-way calls you do, the quicker you are going to be able to run three-way calls yourself. And that's, again, just stepping into leadership and building yourself up as a leader. And I remember, the first time, Amanda telling me like, you can run that one. I don't need to run them anymore. And it's scary. So like Hilary was saying, stepping out of your comfort zone, doing things that are scary when you're asked to do something and you're like, I can't do it, just doing it and knowing like it's going to happen and it's going to go fine. And nobody knows that you're nervous. Right. So, doing those things that make you feel uncomfortable are really going to make you step up into that leadership.
Awesome. All right, number 9, work on yourself. So self-development. We always say this business is the best like self-development course you could ever take. And we all believe that. One of my other favorite sayings is every level there's another devil. And for you to work your way up in this business, you have to personally grow yourself. And yes, it's about beliefs. There's 4 big beliefs that you have to have to be successful, just in any business, and it's particularly this one. It's belief in the product, it's belief in the company, it's belief in the industry, and then it's belief in yourself. And we do a lot of work, belief in ourselves. I'm going to let Allison expand on this, but whether that's reading books, listening to podcasts, meditation, whatever it is, but you definitely will grow by being in this business. There's no way that you won't grow at the longer you stay in this business, which is one of the reasons that I actually love this business so much. And I never expected that when I said yes to this. All right. So Allison, let's hear some of your awesome tips about personal development.
Yeah, I will say too, just to kind of, what Hilary just said, I would say that is my number one thing that I have loved about this business as well. And it's been the self-development. It's been the personal growth. I had no idea how much personal growth I needed, but I needed a lot. And, I feel like I'm the same person, but a completely different person than I was 4 years ago. And so it's kind of really cool to just even watch yourself, kind of flourish and grow in this business as well. So, my favorite thing to do to start my day is having a morning routine or morning rituals. And I think that's so important to start your day off on a positive note. And so, what I love to do when I get up in the morning every single day, and one of the books that I read, I have it right here. If you haven't read it yet, it's called The Miracle Morning. That's one of my absolute favorite books. It kind of got me into the whole routine of doing morning rituals. And so I always highly recommend that book to anyone. I don't do everything now that he said in the book, but I do a lot of it. So every morning when I wake up, Rhonda's reading it now. Every morning when I wake up, I grab my journal and I first do gratitude. And so I write 3 things down that I'm grateful for. And then one of the newer things that I added recently was, what's going to make today great? Right. And so think of the things that during your day is going to make your day a great thing. Like, is it going to be going to get a cup of coffee? Is it going to be exercising? Is it going to be, checking off your to-do list? Is it going to be having some relaxing time on the couch at night? Like, what are those things that are going to fill your cup? Because as much as we love our businesses and we love working and we love loving on people, we also have to make sure that we're also taking care of ourselves, right? Self-care is so important because we don't want to burn ourselves out and we want to be able to enjoy our businesses forever. So, what are you doing during the day to take care of you and make yourself feel good? So I have loved that addition to my morning routine, because it kind of sets the tone for, yes, I'm going to work on my business and I'm going to do all the things and I'm going to check the things off on the list. But what if, I'm also going to have these really great things that are going to fill my cup during the day as well, that are for me only. So, and then I do my affirmations, which I know Loren loves affirmations, the I am statements, or, other statements as well. So yeah, we love Lauren's cards. So I have like a boatload of affirmations that I write down every day. I'm actually in 2021, I've been writing the same ones, I think, for 2 years. So in 2021, I'm updating them. But so those are the three things. So I do writing. So gratitude, what's going to make today great. And then I write down my affirmations. And then I do a little reading. And so my reading is always different. One of the books that I've absolutely loved, and it's usually some sort of inspirational reading or self-development reading, something like that. I read a few pages from a book. One of the books I loved, I read it 2 years in a row, is called Journey to the Heart by Melody Beattie. It's actually has daily readings that you can, read every single day. Or, there's so many other books out there. Something that is going to, lift you up and make you feel good during the day, or maybe make you think a little bit as well. So some sort of self-development, inspirational reading I do as well with my book light in the dark. And then after that, I grab my headphones and I do a meditation. So, meditation after that is what I do. And that I love 10% Happier. That's one of my favorite things. I've also been doing a lot of listening to a lot of Abraham Hicks. That is absolutely amazing and awesome for self-development as well. And so I'm really just setting the tone for the day. And I think having some sort of morning routine, morning rituals is always super important. So, like Hilary said, podcasts, things like that, I think are really, really great. So, find the things that work for you and stick with those and do something for yourself every single day to, that's not work related, to fill your cup. Did you want
I
to add?
love all of those things. No, that just, I do all the I am statements as well. That book I read because of Allison. Everything that she said, a lot of our team members now do the same thing. Allison's been an amazing leader on our team. So a lot of things that she was doing before us, we all now do as well. So thank you, Allison.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So a couple last tips. I know we're trying to keep this to about 30 minutes. So tip number 10 is have fun and find a buddy. If you're not having fun, you're not doing it right. And you're not going to want to stay in the business. And find a buddy. I have been so fortunate that I have lots of buddies. I have Allison, Stacy, Becky, Amanda. And then, so if you have a buddy, it's going to be so much more fun. It's going to be more fun to grow the business. It's going to be fun to do team calls. It's going to be more fun at conference. So we can't stress enough to find a buddy. And the great thing about this business is you get to choose who you work with. So invite your best friend or invite someone who you think even if you don't know them, that you think would be fun to work with. So you get to choose. So that's our last tip, except we have a bonus tip, which is just decide. So as far as being a good leader and being successful in this business, it's really about just deciding, as it is in anything that we do in our life. If you want to make it to the top in this business, just decide. It may take you a lot longer than you ever thought it was going to take you, but if you just stay consistent, and you will get there. I thought I would have been an MD by now. I'm going into my almost 6 years in the business. I know I'm going to get there, but just stay consistent and know that you're going to get there, and you will. So those are our tips. Allison, you have anything to add just to wrap it up?
No, I was just going to say the same thing. Consistency is so key. So, you know, I love one of the stories that Loren told us a while back, and it was, you know, it ended with just staying in line. And it's so true. You just need to stay in line, because if you step out of line, you go all the way to the back of the line and you don't want to start over again. So if you just stay in line and take the steps that you need to take every single day to better yourself and, you know, invest in your business and all of that kind of stuff, you will get to where you want to be. So.
Well, I am so proud of both of you. And what I love the most about you is, you know, like you said, Hilary, you know, you were thinking that you were going to be, you know, further along, maybe NMD, but I'm going to tell you something. You should be more proud of the fact that you're a QNMD and that you were nominated for 12 Club of the Year, not as an NMD. What that means to me is you're more focused on team than you are even yourself. And that says, because most people that are nominated for that position, just so you know, it's not until they're NMD. So I think that that's even more personally impressive than anything, is because it is all about team for you. And who can you help grow to those next positions? And the fact that you've helped, you know, 13 people, 12, 13 people and yourself, you know, really grow and qualify their business, that says a lot about you, even more than just the position. So I'm feeling like Santa, and I'm feeling like I want to give a prize away. To have to open it up, it's such a cute little, you know, wrapping, but I guess I will. Anyway, I thought that was such a great training. Thank you, ladies. So let's see, you guys tell me when to stop, and I'll tell you who's won the prize, and I'll tell you what it is. Tell me when to stop. Just tell me when to stop.
Stop.
Okay. Mo won a prize. Can I open your present so I can show you what it is? It is a what if journal.
Oh, that's awesome.
Beautiful.
There you go. Congratulations. Thank you, ladies.
Thank you.
Such great tips. And now we just have to what? Get off our butts and go do it. So if you want it bad enough, you'll find a way. We have all the resources in the world, and it is a beautiful community. So blessed to have you both part of it. So love you very much, and we'll see you soon.
Thanks for inviting us, Loren.
Thank you so much, Loren.
Bye.
Good night.
Thank you, guys.